After independence and Venezuela's renewed claim, Guyana's government made rash moves against Rupununi ranchers. Forbes Burnham denied rights to the 40,000 natives and settlers in the area. His agriculture minister, Robert Jordan, had explained, as part of a racist policy, that their land titles wouldn't be validated and warned them that the area would be repopulated with black people, on whom Burnham based his political power, fostering hostility against Indo-Guyanese and Amerindians. The Rupununi rebellion erupted on Thursday, January 2, 1969. Insurgents read a proclamation from a movement called Guy Vino, meaning Guyanese Venezuelan, with a bow and arrow symbol. Jim Hort, Valerie Hort's husband, Harold Melville, and Morris Mitchell led the action, backed by 100 people, mostly armed women. That day, rebels seized all official buildings and facilities in Leithen, including the airport. News of the uprising in the vast Rupununi region reached Georgetown, Guyana's capital, via missionary radio. Government attempts to contact Leithen officials failed, as rebels had captured all personnel. The government called on Guyana's defense forces, but they lacked aircraft, making it impossible to organize an airlift for the large-scale operation that was clearly necessary. The movement was fueled by Venezuela's growing presence in Santa Helena de Guayran and nearby areas, a policy from the 1954 Caracas Conference. On that occasion, diplomat Ramon Carmona restated the claim over the Esequibo territory, and Perez Jimenez firmly raised the issue with Secretary of State John Foster Dulles. Independence leader Cheddi Juggins stayed at Caracas's Hotel Avila during that time. Later, a commission was formed to plan a military offensive for 1958. The rebellion's main leaders fled into exile to Brazil and Bolivar State. Once there as refugees, they were housed in newly built homes that were about to be opened by Raul Leone's government, along with many Amerindians who joined them and hundreds of others who didn't participate but suffered as a result. The Amerindian cause had faced a major setback. The uprising was brutally suppressed, with 17 combat deaths, according to official figures. Other sources cite between 70 and 100. Due to property damage by Guyana's defense force, actual numbers likely exceed official figures. Villagers endured brutal torture. Women suffered rape, leading to a ruthless ethnic cleansing of Amerindians, mestizos, and European-descended ranchers in the area. "28 participants in these events were captured. All were transported under heavy guard to Georgetown for imprisonment and trial. Reports of atrocities against civilians by Guyanese forces were published in Brazil's O Globo and London's Observer on June 8, 1969. In Lecen, a Brazilian journalist saw houses destroyed by machine gun fire, with occupants given no chance to escape. I witnessed Guyanese police murder 8 people, 3 adults and 5 7-year-old children. 2 girls, 14 and 15, were captured and tied up naked for 3 days without food. They were raped by police, then thrown down and crushed by a truck. I saw police surround houses full of people at night, douse walls, doors, and windows with gas, and set them ablaze with occupants screaming to death inside. The brave Valerie Hort. The Rupununi rebellion occurred during the difficult transition between Presidents Leone and Caldera's governments in Venezuela. Valerie Hort entered the Yellow House on the afternoon of January 3, 1969. The day before, the Amerindian population of Rupununi in Guyana rebelled against Forbes Burnham's government. When she shook hands with Foreign Minister Ignacio Iribarren Borges, she regained some confidence lost after a long sleepless night. Valerie Hort came to Venezuela and spoke in Congress. Please help us. We want to be pro-Venezuela independence. We can rise up but can't fight the Faith Force government because we don't know how. Please help us. No, we can help with everything except... Valerie Hort told Iribarren Borges the rebels aimed to make Rupununi independent under Venezuelan protection. The foreign minister knew of Esequibo border protection plans led by Interior Minister Reinaldo Leandro Mora, Brigadier General Raul Jimenez Gainza, Captain Jacobo Yepes Daza, and civilian Orlando Garcia. Valerie Hort anxiously awaited the minister's words. The official, following diplomatic protocol, explained Venezuela was bound by the 1966 Geneva Agreement with Britain and Guyana and couldn't intervene on behalf of the rebels in any way. A year prior, at the UN, Burnham accused Venezuela of planning to forcibly annex the disputed area. Besieged by reporters that afternoon, Foreign Minister Iribarren Borges simply stated, "Venezuela won't aid Guyana's rebels militarily." President Raul Leon from Miraflores assured there will be no statements. Minister Leandro Mora was blunt. The movement wouldn't have failed if Venezuela had intervened. Hours later, at Hotel El Conde, Valerie Hort declared indignantly, "I want to make it crystal clear that if Venezuela's government, under U.S. pressure, doesn't provide any assistance to the people of Rupununi, it would be equivalent to endorsing Burnham's government." There's no doubt that the revolt's failure and the national government's stance put Venezuelan diplomacy at a disadvantage in discussing and signing the Port of Spain Protocol a year later, which suspended the claim for a 12-year period. Sadly, most Venezuelans aren't aware of the significance of an area as large as our Huarico state. It almost returned to Venezuela. Half the claimed territory's residents sought Venezuela's armed aid to protect their decision to join. Venezuela ultimately refused, only accepting those who'd committed as Venezuelan-born citizens. We'll never forget Burrell Melville's brave words from Ciudad Bolivar on January 4th, 1969. We'll return to Esequibo's west when it's Venezuelan again. I'm certain as the fight continues. We're here due to unavoidable circumstances, but resistance groups remain in the mountains, growing stronger until liberation. My map of Venezuela includes our Esequibo.